Hello, gals and guys. It's me, Phil Larson, and this is your motivational high five on loving kindness. Let's do this. Episode 62, what do you know? That is 2 full 31-day months of your motivational high five episodes. And just like after the first 31 episodes, I threw a challenge out there, the 31-day rewire challenge. Well, let's do another one. 31 days, starting in episode 32, going all the way to 62. I talk about it more in the previous microsode right before this episode. So listen to that and send me an email. Let me know you're doing this. I'm glad to be here today. It's been a busy few weeks. We have begun the construction of the disc golf course I've been telling you guys about. And also this week, my wife and I gained possession on our new house and we are moving. A lot is happening. In the meantime, when I am busy, I am reminded of my need to slow down and to become mindful and begin again to meditate. Meditation, if you're like me, is a pretty new practice. And as I grew up in kind of the Christian community, that whole meditation stuff was given kind of a bad rap. You know, that it's some sort of this voodoo spiritual or witchcraft practice, and it's not. In fact, there are recent studies that show how meditation helps preserve your brain as it ages, as well as other studies that show things like that meditation reduces the me center in your brain, that you begin to think less about yourself in unhealthy, selfish ways. It also helps with depression and anxiety, and that it actually increases the growth, the physical growth of your brain, the cortical thickness in the hippocampus, and you're able to learn better, and you're able to remember things better. These are new studies. These are exciting things to learn about meditation. And today we're going to do a meditation practice with the help of Molly Schlangen. If you remember at all, Molly was a guest voice on episode 48 on listening. And Molly gets this. She owns a yoga studio called Awakening Grace Yoga Studio. You can get to it at awakeninggraceyoga.com. And she's a professor of nursing and has a master's degree in counseling psychology. And she's going to take us through a loving kindness meditation, which is also known as metta meditation. It's a practice concerned with the cultivation of what the Buddhist community call as metta, which is benevolence, kindness, and amity. And what loving kindness really is different than compassion, whereas compassion is you are wishing for someone to be relieved from suffering. But there are people who can be relieved from suffering and still unhappy and feeling still unfree from the things that bind them. Whereas wishing loving kindness means to wish this freedom, this happiness, to be free and to be happy in their mind and in their spirit and in their whole being. And loving kindness meditations is to lead you to a state that is being counter to an ill will state. So it is kind of an antidote to if you find yourself in this kind of state of hate and anger and wishing ill will on other people or on yourself. And there's no better person to do it than a professional yoga instructor. So Molly is going to lead us in this. And as she does, there's going to be this calming track that comes behind her. And we aren't going to end like we usually end, with kind of a closing thought and really kind of a closing affirmation or meditation really at the end, because this is its own sort of self-affirmation. This is a practice that if we do this mindfully will help rewire our brains towards ourselves and towards those we have trouble with loving. And really, it is best when you find kind of a quiet place to do this. So if you have time sometime later, or if you find yourself here in the morning listening while you're doing dishes, which I find out and I get I get told by some close friends, but also through email, that people seem to listen to my podcast while they're doing dishes in the morning, which is really funny. Or they're doing their makeup, or they're getting ready for the day, which I love, that you would invite me into the start of your day. But if you will, find some time, find some space, close your eyes, and be willing to allow Molly to lead you through this loving kindness meditation. And for me, meditation and prayer are very closely linked. I think of the interview with Mother Teresa, where she's being asked, when you pray, what do you say to God? She goes, I don't. I listen. And so then the next question that was asked of her, well, then what does God say to you? And her only answer was, He listens. Welcome, Molly.
Hi, this is Molly Schlangen, and I wanted to share with you today a meditation on loving kindness. Perhaps you've heard of this one. It's a pretty popular meditation, but it's one that we're doing in my yoga community right now, and I thought it would be fun to share it with the motivational high five community and invite you guys to be on board with this. I think last year there were a few of us that did this meditation for about 3 months. It's very powerful and short and sweet, and I hope you can see some of the benefits. So it has been a meditation that's been around for many years, and for most people that really embrace it and try to do it on a regular basis consistently during, for a set amount of time, it can be really transformative. And the way that this meditation in particular becomes transformative is that it helps you to engage your mind in a different way. So just as Phil talks about rewiring the mind, it's the same idea. We're rewiring the mind to focus on kindness instead of the usual standby default mode of judgment and negative self-talk or expectation or whatever it is that your mind does. So this meditation is helpful for bringing kindness into our minds and also just to help free us from the habitual patterns and thought patterns and cycles of our thinking. In this way, once we can do that and just give the mind kind of a very fruitful task to work on, it allows our hearts to just come into their natural state, which is loving kindness. So I'll talk you through it, and you can do it at a time that suits your needs. And when you have time to actually give this your attention, I encourage you to try it. It's a couple of easy mantras, very simple, and there are certainly multiple versions of this out there. Feel free to find a version that feels good for you. Having said that, I'm going to just jump right in. So when we start the loving kindness meditation, we start with ourselves. That compassion for the self first, kind of that idea of, filling our own cup before we can fill others. So take a moment and for yourself, offer this mantra of loving kindness. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be free. And the next part of the meditation is we think of a loved one, someone who's close to you, someone you care about. And usually it's the first person that comes to mind is a great person to start with. And then holding that person's image in your mind, surround them with loving kindness, and to that person say, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be peaceful, may they be free. Now, the third part of the loving kindness meditation is we kind of pick someone who is neutral. Could be just an acquaintance. You don't even need to know the person's name. Could be a barista at the coffee shop or a checkout clerk. Doesn't matter. Just hold the image of this person with whom you don't have a strong emotional connection and hold their image in your mind's eye. And to this person, silently say to yourself, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be peaceful. May they be free. And finally, the last part of this loving kindness meditation is to think of someone with whom you have a struggle. And it could be a recent struggle, like an argument last weekend, or it could be a 30-year struggle. It's up to you, really. But the bigger the struggle, the more that this meditation will help to just lighten that. So hold that person in your mind's eye. Surround them with loving kindness and whatever image works for you. And with your own heart open, say to this person, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be peaceful. May they be free. And that's it. That's the loving kindness meditation. You can say it out loud or say it to yourself. Probably depends on where you're practicing this meditation. It's pretty short and sweet. You can play this again later if it helps you, or you can just go with it on your own terms and kind of let it morph into your own version of loving kindness meditation. You can also Google to see what other meditations are out there. I think there's probably a few YouTube videos out there. But we've been using this in my studio. I've personally been doing this one for years. I usually take a month or two every year and just focus on this meditation, and it has been really just amazing, the results. So I'm going to just leave you with a quote. This one comes from the Redemption Song by Bob Marley. And the words are, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds." And I think that's been my experience when I do this meditation. I just let go of all those ideas of what I think I need to do and just allow this meditation to work its magic.